What's going on, everybody? It's Nick Kosko for 247Sports. Great conversation today. Pleased to be joined by Pro Football Hall of Famer, Dallas Cowboy, and of course, Miami legend Michael Irvin. Michael, thank you for joining me this afternoon. I just want to start out today. You're here talking about Verilux, so let's give the audience a little bit more information about that and why you're doing that today.
Well, let me tell you something, Nick. You know, growing up, man, I was perfect. My eyesight was perfect. I could see everything, little spots on the football. But right around the age of 40, I started seeing spots when I looked at a paper. I couldn't make out the little letters, you know. And I went to my doctor. You know what the doctor told me? He said that's presbyopia. That's the name they have for it, the farsightedness that a lot of people start going through at around the age of 40. And the number one recommended progressive lens is Verilux. These glasses right here, they saved my life, especially in this business. I used to be looking up and then looking down, taking a look, all of this. But with this technology, it's a seamless transition. I can be looking up at the camera. I can look down and pick up those little words or the little notes or the little statistics that I need, and get right back to the camera because of that seamless transition. I recommend anybody having these issues, go see a doctor and ask your doctor about the number one recommended progressive lens, Verilux.
And obviously, you could see a lot. So you've been seeing what's going on with the Miami Hurricanes right now. Made a big coaching change this offseason.
Yes.
Moved on from Manny Diaz. They basically poached the hometown man, I should say, Mario Cristobal from Oregon. I just want your first impressions on that move, considering Cristobal's done a tremendous job at Oregon. Now, it seems like he's already going to put Miami into contention status within the ACC. So what were your thoughts on Mario Cristobal and his hiring with the Hurricanes?
I thought it was a great hire. First of all, I love Manny Diaz. I think Manny's a great man. And Manny moved the needle for us some, but we need to take it to another level. And Mario Cristobal, I hope he can come in and get that other level. Yeah, Oregon was one thing because he did great in Oregon, but he came back to Florida and got all our players to go up in Oregon and win. So hopefully now that he's the head coach of the U, he can keep those players in Florida and let's take this thing, let's bite this thing one at a time. Let's just bite off the ACC. Let's get into that game. Clemson was down last year, and we were not in that game. At bottom, Miami should be in that game or right around that game every year. That's the acceptable minimum. And then from that, we start working on the college playoffs and getting national championship. But Cristobal coming back, if he can recruit that area and keep those players in, at minimum, we can get back to take over the ACC.
And you just mentioned the fact that Clemson was down last year. It was open. Wake Forest and Pittsburgh made the ACC title game this past year. Do you think Cristobal has the ability, as long as he recruits and hits that transfer portal well, they could possibly be in that ACC title game this season in his first year as head coach?
And it's all about that quarterback, buddy, and especially at that level. Look at, for the last few years, what they look like. And then we got King, and King, I know he went through some injuries, but it was a marked improvement at the quarterback position. And Cristobal, he goes and finds his quarterback. He has a shot to put them right back into, like I talked about, that ACC fight.
Tyler Van Dyke, you're mentioning he kind of broke out last year, could be a big breakout star in 2022. And I want to get your take on this, considering going back to your Miami days, glitz and glamour. You were at the U back in the 80s when it was the U. And they've had their ups and downs since then, of course. But with the NIL going around college sports right now, name, image, and likeness, these players can profit off their own name. Obviously, they can get sponsorship deals now. Can you give me maybe a glimpse of what that might have been like if those rules were around back when you were playing for Miami?
Yeah, I know. And this is crazy, man. This is the Wild West. And everybody thinks, oh, that's great. The players can get paid. There's a lot of decisions in that. You get a guy, let's use Alabama's quarterback, Bryce Young, this talented guy. Now, he has to understand, you're a businessman, not just a businessman. You're a business by yourself, man. You hear what I'm saying? So let's make sure you're not selling your business short. I don't want and say, I'm a college student. Let somebody come up and give me a $5,000 car deal. Okay, because you understand, now you may have taken your name out of that category, but somebody had $1 million deal down the road. So don't take pennies, don't step over dollars to get those pennies. So that I think they have to make sure they navigate and be careful with.
Let's switch gears over to the NFL real quick. Obviously, you being a Cowboys legend, won a few Super Bowls. They were a disappointment, I would say, in the eyes of many over the weekend, losing to the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, just your first impressions on what went wrong and where they go from here, with obviously Dak Prescott's locked in for long-term, but head coach Mike McCarthy could be on the hot seat. No moves have been made yet. And what were your first impressions off the game from the weekend?
Well, I was disappointed that the stars never showed up. Dak was like 69, had like 69 passer rating. Zeke, 31 rush yards. CeeDee Lamb, 21 receiving yards, one reception for 21 yards. How can you win a game if your $100 million guys aren't showing up? You know what I mean? Aren't playing. And that's what happened with Dallas. That offense did not show up. And they still had a chance at winning that game. And the offense not showing up was a shame. And then the way that game ended was a shame. Moving forward, the Cowboys have to fix some issues. 14 penalties? 14 penalties is unacceptable. You can't win football games with 14 penalties. You cannot do some of the things the Cowboys have done and expect to win games. They got to get that all fixed and fixed fast.
I'll leave you here with this one. And it's interesting that you mentioned the penalties, and that's more of a discipline issue. Do you think that stems from the type of players they have and just the way they play, or is it the coaching ability of Mike McCarthy? Again, he's won a Super Bowl. It seems like everybody forgets that he won one with the Green Bay Packers. Again, it was over 10 years ago now, but do you think he's the right guy moving forward, considering, again, it's another one of those one-and-done playoff exits?
Right, and it's another one. And everybody around here, because we get emotional after an exit like that, let's get rid of the coach. Let's get rid of the coach. I understand that. But where do we go? You know what I'm saying? I understand you're upset. I understand you're disappointed. But let's not let our emotions put us in tougher situation. And then we go and get rid of Mike, get somebody that hadn't had that skin on the wall, that hadn't been to a Super Bowl, and we don't know what kind of coach he's going to be. So if you got me somebody better that I know I can get, then I'll look at that. But if you're just telling me, let's get rid of Mike and get back in that hunt that those other 8 teams, however many teams already in, then I'm not with that. I got to make sure I know where I'm going, and I got to make sure the guy I'm getting is better than the guy I'm letting go.
Great, Michael Irvin. Michael, I really appreciate your time today, man. Hopefully, for your sake, Miami can really succeed here in 2022. I'm rooting for it. I would love to see it for the return of college football. But again, I appreciate your time today, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And of course, we'll. If I need glasses, I will invest in Verilux. Good thing my vision's fine right now, though.
How old are you? How old are you?
25, sir. That's it. So I got a little while.
Oh,
maybe.
So yeah, you got about 10 more years, and then you shall be calling me and saying, Michael, where can I get that Verilux? I'm gonna tell you, EssilorUSA.com. That's what I would tell you. Go to EssilorUSA.com, and I'm telling you, you need to write that down for 10 years from now, so you can just already have it.
I'll make
Thanks
sure.
for having me, buddy.
I appreciate it, man. I'll make sure to tell them that you sent me. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.